the conversation gets started.
Yeah.
So this is 2020, the last class of 2025. So before we go into the article, what stood out for us in the course of the year or in the series of classes that we've been having so far on being? What is the thing that has one thing in the, I know we joined at different times, then we missed a few classes here and there. The one thing that stood out for you that can be the beginning of the side of or the part of the cloth. I'm trying to get the idiomatic expression where you can hold one part of the whole 52 classes that you can hold from where you can lighten up all the other things that we learned along the way. So what stood out for each of us? So the floor is open. The floor is open. What stood out for you in the course of we've looked at different things. We've looked at rackets. We've looked at being the cause. We've looked at inner conversations. We've looked at uncovering your winning strategy. We've looked at on the same along the same line as your inner strategy, kind of be able to identify when your winning strategy rather, when your winning strategy is now going to extinction. But that is key to keeping yourself in the momentum of whatever you are doing. Sometimes we're unable to change gear. I think it's Steve Chandler who said, if you look at the way cars, before automatic gears came, if you keep running on gear one and firing heavily, you will get to a stage where the engine is just making loud noise without much movement. Goldo Dubu, you're welcome. So I will looking forward to your new book. Let us know once you have released it on Amazon so that we'll be able to get further glimpse of what being is all about. Thank you for joining with your odd Canadian time.
Thanks so much. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So the floor is open. What stood out for us on the subject of being? Who still remembers, like Animal Farm would do, or like some of the things that happened in Animal Farm? You learn ABC, when you are doing DEF, it looks like you have forgotten ABC. So when we say being, what is the whole idea of being all about? What was it all about? What was this
Good morning,
being?
sir.
Good morning, Justice. How are you,
Yes, sir.
Justice?
Not too bad, sir. I'm fine.
What
Merry
part of the
Christmas.
UK are you?
Around Wales.
Okay, Wales. Okay, yeah, Wales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning. Mr. Gold, so good to see you. This is Justice. I know he must have forgotten from learning from living in Worry, at Worry.
He would have
My
forgotten you.
good manager then. Wow. Good to see you, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
so what stood out for me for within the year 2025, I think, was the fact that we are the ones creating our reality. And it's a concept that was really difficult for me in particular, to digest. But as the time went on, it began to really dawn on me that actually we are the ones that give meaning to whatever is happening around us. And it's the meaning that we give that will either empower us to move ahead, or that would kind of make the person become paralyzed to take action. So I'm really, really glad to have been part of the Being class. It has really transformed the way I think and the way I look at things. Begin to see that when something happens, between what happened and the time I react, I have the opportunity to decide how I want to internalize and react. And then I choose actions that will empower me to decide how I am able to make the best decisions and move ahead in life. So thank you very much, sir, for the privilege. And thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Justice. Thank you. So the floor is open. What stood out for?
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Harriet.
One of the key things that stood out for me is the filter thing. You know, that is the filters that we set that actually produce, you know, whatever we are seeing in our realities. So we need to be sure that we are setting the right filters. If we block our minds, for example, you know, like when you are making certain decisions, you've already narrowed what you are expecting. So it makes you to be biased. But once you allow, you know, you reset your filters, you'll be able to see things, you know, in a different light that will make you live a better life. Like the first person said, it's everything that will go through is all stories that we created. So we are the ones creating it. So why don't we reset the filters so that we can, you know, we can be more open-minded and live a better life. So filters are very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. The floor is open. What stood out for you in the course of the classes in the year? So drawing from the, okay.
Just to add to what I said about the filter thing, you know, recently I had a boss that, you know, was really, you know, on the other side of what I was expecting. And for some time, it's like I did not really, I was close with the filters because immediately I knew what she was doing. I was just on the other side. That this person is not, you know, and I kept talking about, you know, the experiences, the stories in the house. So everybody had an impression that this one is a, you know, is a wicked boss. But this Christmas festivity and everything, I think I changed the filters. No, I think I changed the filters, and you know, we brought food together. We ate. Before I would not eat any food at all that she gives me. She brings food. I tell you, this is so serious. It was so serious because when the position was vacant, my husband knows. People advise, they talk to me to apply. I say no, I don't want to apply for that role because I don't want too much responsibility that will really affect me. I now live far away, travel more than 4 hours every day to go and come back to work. So I don't want, I'm okay where I am. So everybody helped to pray. The prayer was that God should bring somebody, you know, that will be good and everything will be fine. So the prayer point went well. And behold, when the person came, I shared the testimony in my family that this person is my church member, although I didn't know the person before. I said, thank God. God has brought somebody, you know, that is good. At least we are hearing from the same house of God. And then immediately she settled and understood what we were doing. She was now on the other side. I started complaining. I said, God, this is the worst I've seen in my life. And he's supposed to be my church member. Although he's not a familiar person that we see. So one or two times I saw her in church and I just passed by her, just say hello, and she was already my boss. That was the extent of everything. But we kept carrying on like that for a few months. But just before this Christmas period, I adjusted the filters because before that time, if she gives me anything to eat, she will bring things, chocolate and the rest I will not touch. And she understood, she knew it. And she would say, Harriet, you don't want to eat anything from me. And we go to the same church, we do that. In my mind, please just do your own, let me do my work and go. So the filters were not, I didn't open up, even though I was learning it here, you know. But before Christmas, I adjusted the filters a bit, you know, and we all ate together, we danced together. It was now a better kind of relationship because the way I was seeing her before, I changed to another side. You understand, with some of the things we were learning here. And then when I came home and I played the video of how we were now dancing together, smiling and everything, and my children were asking, Mommy, is it not the same woman you were talking about? I say yes. But I know that I changed the filters. I gave more room. I was more open. So it's actually the filters that we set that makes us to, that determines the outcome that we get. You understand? So I have a better outcome now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Let me say something.
Good.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank everyone. Yeah, I've been a silent listener because of my time. In fact, it's 12:20 a.m. here in Canada. So, but I said I would try to make sure that at least I participate in one. So, for everybody who have been holding on since making it last, uh, in fact, one of them is Harriet, who I just listened to now, which is good. Good to see your face now and all of that. Uh, so, straight to the point, for me, it's been, it has helped to strengthen my understanding of being. The class has really, I learned a lot from different people, different conversations. But the three things that stood out for me, which in fact every day it's been practiced for me every day, you know. So one of that is the asking of yourself, what do you really want? That is number one. In everything we have learned so far, I isolated that part of it, which is what do you really want as your outcome eventually? And if your outcome does not come the way you want it, it moves over to the second part we learned, which is your interpretation. We have to interpret things the way they come. And your interpretation can either make you get angrier, change your behavior, or whatever it is. But if you know your outcome from the beginning, this is what I want. Somehow you are positioned yourself to face it whenever it comes, and you don't get angry. I have lived my life in a way that a lot of people always ask me, is it that you don't get angry in life at all? Nothing makes you angry. It is not because I cannot get angry, but it's simply because I'm intentional about what I want most times. So one is for one to know the interpretation of what exactly the situation is at every given point in time, good or bad. The second thing is for you to be able to live with that interpretation of what you are looking at it from, because like I will just give the most recent example, which is about a few months ago, like 2, 3 months ago, in line with what we are studying today, the book the material we read today, which is that I was supposed to be given a position, not I was supposed to, in fact, I was given the position before the CEO left. I'm a supervisor where I am in the healthcare in my office. So I was made a senior supervisor. And the other people said no. That's because this person is black, and the people we are catering for are not just whites, but First Nations. So there's a particular part of people we are catering for. So they're expecting that somebody who is First Nation, not just white, but a First Nation person will be the senior supervisor. So now it boils down to what interpretation. Am I going to get angry? Am I going to leave? It was, I have been acting unofficially as the senior supervisor. In fact, I was supposed to be moved more than the senior supervisor, but okay, senior supervisor was good, at least to compensate. But then management came and said, if the CEO said you should be the senior supervisor, but give or take, we are bringing somebody to head you as your senior supervisor, while you remain in the position of the supervisor. I trained the person, did everything. The person is less qualified, doesn't even know much about healthcare, uh, doesn't even have good interpersonal skills. But one major thing management says is because this person is white and is First Nation, we just want to put the person there. Support him with all your initiative as you have always been doing. So situations like this could be very tough. But I look at it as, you know what, the most important thing for me is what do I want right now? Which is I want to continue, I am learning, and I want to practice being. I want to stretch my being training more to see how much of it, how much patience, how much endurance, perseverance I can take. That's one. Then two, that the person is white, or the person is First Nations, or the person is black, or the person is my supervisor or not my supervisor, it's immaterial. I decided that every single day I go to work, I put in my best, I support as much as I can, and then leave the other things to just naturally flow. Management has found out that that is what I've been doing. And there is division. First of all, the CEO who made me the senior supervisor stepped down because they didn't make me the senior supervisor. Said it's not going to continue. He stepped down because of that. Not just stepping down, he has now left the company. I continued. So one major thing that I have appreciated from this class is the different angles everybody is taking it from, thereby strengthening what I think is my own limitation, which is how much endurance or perseverance can I get to? What's my elasticity of patience before I break off and say, no, I'm not practicing this being again. I beg to hell with everything. So what I see is that there is a level you get to in the practice of being where you are living it. It's just part of you. Where it's difficult for you to kind of break down by the surroundings or the various interpretations around you. Okay, so I read in previous classes one of the things that came out from some of the experiences she brings on board, which also helped me, is that somehow you will face difficult situations. You will face difficult situations where you'll be tempted to want to throw the being practice out of the window. However, if you continue, the experience you just gave now, of course, she just recently, like she started talking with the person, and then it's kind of been better. But before the new year, what I kind of want to say here as a parting gift, let me put it that way for everybody, is the more you try to practice it, the better you become of it. And then you grow to understand to that level where nothing really, really bothers you. Nothing shakes you from the outside interpretation of surroundings. That you want to be who you want to be and who you have decided to be. It is very possible without allowing interference. Let me stop here to allow that at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. So the floor is open.
Okay.
Okay. Harold, yeah.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And
Good morning.
I hope the Christmas was very good. Yeah. Okay. So I want to say thank you, Coach, for bringing up this program to us, me and my missus. When it started this year, I didn't know how it's going to, but they said the chick in things for about the chick that will grow into a big cock, can be spotted the day it was hatched. That was the first day I came in and I had this bean. I said, this thing will be good. I asked Coach, can my wife join? And then I brought in Vic. And you see, all this while we've seen how important it is. If for nothing, knowledge is power. Knowledge, the Bible says people perish for lack of knowledge. One of the things I have, learned to do in this pain class is that declaration, the words of power by Tracy Goss. Just declared. Few days before Christmas, there was a lady that, she was very antagonistic in the office, and then she came and said, I have a challenge. So what is the challenge? Said they gave us vouchers. If you do very well in my office, they'll give you voucher. It's called an extra mile award. And that voucher, you can convert it into any store voucher like Amazon or what do you call it, M&S or so. So she converted to Amazon vouchers, and then she added some money to about £300, and then she went to Amazon to buy Christmas gifts, and they rejected the vouchers. And she was so worried. Said, my children, they're all disappointed. And I just remember Tracy God, they say, make declaration. I said, look, I put it to you that these guys, that Amazon will call you and give you your vouchers before Christmas. I said, no, I said, they will do that. Trust me. If by the next time we see next week, you will give me good result. And I saw her next week, say, yes, so they said they are looking into it. And I said, don't worry, they will do it. On the Saturday before Christmas, she just sent me a message. They've accepted this. I'm so happy. Our family is happy. We are buying things now, from Curry's, and everybody's happy. I say a declaration. Just declare it at times, because they say we are gods too. We can declare things. It's very important, for us to be that positive and make declaration. Right? In other words, but at the same time too, don't take yourself seriously. If you declare that it doesn't happen, don't kill yourself. Don't just take yourself seriously, but declare, do something positive. And then give everyone an A. Give everyone an A. It's very important to give people an A, because you need to, if you know the circumstances from which they come from. There was a guy that came for interview the first time. I didn't give him very much. I didn't give him much scores because he didn't answer the questions well. But he came again for the second interview for his case of supervisor. And this time around, I listened to him when he said that he was quite poor. He couldn't even have money. They don't have money. And he does gymnastics, and he wanted to go to Hungary for the gymnastics, and they couldn't afford it, and the parents were poor. So he went to the school and asked the school if he could do something, go to stores, buy things, then do like a bazaar. They call it bazaar. where those things he will sell them in auction. I explained to them why he's selling them at auction. He put the price there because he wants to go for this thing to represent the school, and he doesn't have the money. So, and he did that one. The school supported him, and he got the money. And at the end of the day, he went for the program. So I said, "What did that one learn?" He said, "Yes, you can do things. If you are determined, you can do things." I said, "Okay, all right, that's fine." So I gave the guy an A. Not only that A I gave to him made his result to tie with another black guy who was also very good. And when it came to voting, there were two white guys and myself. They voted for they voted for him. This is where this issue came for this last article, when you have to give a result that didn't go well. I knew the black guy should have done it because he was also very good. One thing this man, the article said, this last article said, was that you should stabilize yourself. Stabilize yourself before you take any decision. That's against you. Otherwise, it will show. And what do I do? How do I didn't know that is called stabilizing yourself. I just knew that, well, this thing is a conflict. I really like to give this guy the position, but two whites against one, and they give him that to that. So I told my wife about it. So I had to discuss this type of thing. To stabilize, one is to discuss the issue. I discussed with her, prayed about it, and went the next day for the discussion. Yeah, but this time around, I was very neutral. I wasn't putting my emotion in it. So it was neutral. We discussed, and then we looked at all the good points of the guy, looked at all the good points and the scenario, and they all agreed, okay, all right, based on the one or two things, let the guy take the position. So he took the position. And when I discussed with the guy about it, I wasn't too emotional. I was saying, no, these guys, I don't know. It was to give him opportunities for him to improve on himself and to see the organization for what it is, and then encourage him that things will get better in the next one to come. So the issue is with being, you don't carry your emotions to the workplace. You don't carry emotion. You stabilize yourself. You put the organization in front. Make look responsible, and look somebody that they can rely on, without being the type that is against management policies. I said that to not carry the people along. It's a very technical issue, but I was able to weather the storm, and then give everybody put everybody in place and make everybody comfortable with where we are now in course of going towards where we want to be. So the being class has been really very good, because first of all, it widens your horizon, make you look at things from different perspective, understand that people that you deal with, they have their own core values, they have their own culture, they grew from a different perspective, because the white man grew from a different culture and he looked at things differently. When we want to beat around the bush, they just want to go straight to the point. With one sentence, they can capture so many things. While we don't have more words, we don't have that type of thing to be able to say one thing and then you see the whole picture. You see it every day. They plan ahead, so we don't really plan the way they plan, and we don't really put so many things into consideration in doing something. So different culture, but at the end of the day, you have to bring everybody together and bring out the things you want to do in a way that you can carry everybody along. You can lead without title. You can be who you want to be, as long as you believe in yourself and you declare it, and you do the work that you need to do. Yeah. So let me stop for so far.
All right. Thank you very much. So thank you everyone for making our Christmas and New Year edition once again. So some of the things that those who have spoken so far, drawing from filters, interpretation, and well, all the different things is it 4 or 5 persons who have spoken so far. Now, one of the challenges you will notice when you want to, when you are asking yourself, I mean, what do I want? Sometimes are there biases? I mean, imagine that you are an American citizen, you are a Nigerian resident in the US, for example, and Donald Trump is talking about deporting immigrants, deporting this. You are an immigrant, and you have so many siblings, including your dad, who is an illegal immigrant.
Mhm.
Then the next thing, Donald Trump announces your name as the person to marshal out the immigrants. When I was looking at the article from Harvard Business Review, I don't know whether the chicken was seeing another chicken that wants to be slayed. And before your immigration boys move out there to start deporting, your father is the first to be arrested. So, so what are you going to do? Now, these are realities of life that confront us, but it's all in the things that we are discussing. Many times we let our emotions take us to what we don't really want. Knowing what you want is not, many times it's not an ABCD thing. It's not an ABCD thing. So I like the different reminders that the speakers have brought out this morning. It kind of answers this thing. And when Justice was talking about interpretation, the article talks about stabilizing yourself, finding out what is there versus what is your interpretation. And so you can imagine, so everything we are learning here is in modern leadership literature. So there is a house there, there is a chair there. So those things are there. They are factuals, they are not interpretations, whether there are chairs there. But when you look at the aspect of what is tormenting you, that is an interpretation, if it is an interpretation, you also know that it can be interpreted in different ways. Now, sometimes when you are a footballer, if you are one of the 11 players, Nigeria versus Cote d'Ivoire, you don't see the game like somebody who is not a player. Is the reason sometimes it will help you. Today is our last class. It mustn't be somebody that is very knowledgeable in one thing. Just your colleague, somebody who just, many of us have made new friends in this group or known people that we can reach out to. Just have a conversation, and before the conversation, promise yourself one thing, that you are not going to be anchored pursuing an outcome. If you pursue an outcome in a conversation, you really don't hear what the other person is saying. You don't hear what the other person is saying. So, but if you are not pursuing an outcome, I mean, I don't know if it was, I don't know which of the speakers. If you are not pursuing an outcome, you say, I really want to get other perspectives. This is my interpretation. But my interpretation looks so real. I don't know how many of us have read Tracy Goss. In one of the chapters, there was the chief operating officer who's the CEO told, you are going to make more profits. You are going to reduce prices. You are going to increase quality. The guy said that is impossible. Now, in simple mathematics, it looks like what the CEO is looking for is impossible to. Increasing quality will mean more cost. Now, reducing price then should reduce profit. Then the CEO brings this situation together. He said, then you will bring more profit. The guy says it's impossible. But when the guy went to had a conversation with Tracy Goss, he was able to bring himself to the place where he saw or he could do what the CEO was asking for. So sometimes we get into situations, our automaticity just takes over us. It's impossible. If this is what they're asking for, I'm going to resign. Is that really the option? Is that really the only option? There's nothing wrong if you resign. There is nothing wrong. But not if you see, there's something about if all your if your default is resignation, usually you are heading to, you are just exercising an existing winning strategy. Now, that winning strategy will not work forever. I normally say in my office that, look, Atiku would have long been president in 2007, but he executed an expired winning strategy. And 20 years later, he's still fighting to be president. People who were local government chairmen like then Goodluck Jonathan, when he was vice president, they have ruled and gone. But don't let your winning strategy expire on you. So look for somebody. Nothing. Answers come just in conversation. Something God said he benefited from the disparate views. Now you begin if all of us listen to a church sermon here, one of the things you will notice, the notes we take are not the same. And that is what Tracy Goss calls, what are you listening for? We are always in a position where we are listening for something. We think what we are hearing this because I'm talking and not everybody's hearing the same thing from me. It will amaze us. So it's not everybody is hearing the same thing that I'm saying, because your personality interprets what I'm saying. So your personality interprets what you are hearing. So one of the things, if you want to now get clarity, you want to have a conversation with somebody who knows how to handle this kind of conversation. Then don't hold to an outcome. One of the things we've been learning in this class, look, there are no shoulds and shouldn'ts. Yeah, until I started getting this understanding of being, if I went to somebody for advice, I can hate you because you didn't give me the advice I want. Now, that is what most times they call confirmation bias. So many times people are looking to talk to somebody who will tell them the one they want to hear. You have been in a counseling session where, look, if you don't tell me what I want, then forget it. Now, we are looking for just people who will tell us what we want. I remember one of my mentors spiritually, Kenneth Copeland, said people don't come really looking for advice. They are looking for somebody who will confirm what they want to do. So, but don't go that way. I posted something on the WhatsApp and on the chat board then. I think who was talking, was it Harold? And it came to my mind. A common phrase by Dr. Joe Dispenza in most of his seminars: the unknown has never let me down. Now, our ego is afraid of the unknown. Right. It looks like he wants to die. It looks like if I'm not sure the outcome of this conversation, I can just kill myself. And your ego is our ego, all of us, the ego is lying. If I'm not sure that this is the outcome, I can just kill myself. Then the job is of no use. Now, don't go that way. Don't let your ego deceive you. The unknown has never let me down. It's a popular inspirational phrase, strongly associated with self-help author Dr. Joe Dispenza, emphasizing trust in future possibilities over past experiences. Past experiences are what is dictating the interpretation. So Harold is fixated. When he was talking, it was as if the black guy should have gotten the job. Well, listen to the white guy. He gave the guy an A. Then the other thing now tallied. It's like, wow, if I knew this thing with tally, I should not have this guy an A. But you are tied to an outcome. Now, it takes a great deal of self-awareness. Let me put it that way, not really self-discipline. Self-awareness is higher than self-discipline. You can be disciplining yourself over the wrong thing. This is what is going on. This is what is going on. And I'm not going to be tied to this outcome. Now, and I'm not the only one making the decision. Your ego is something like you look like, let me be the highest person in the decision panel self. Not even that we are all colleagues. But I'm not the only one. Now, it takes a lot of conversation, internal conversation. When the article says, stabilize yourself first. Don't just go like, I'm going to do what the CEO said. No, sometimes you will also, because your personality will be interpreting, you will see yourself talking to your subordinates and you are saying, well, all of you know that this was not really my idea, but this is what they said we should do. Oh, that's stupidity in leadership. You can't go to subordinates and say, this is not, all of you know my position, that this is not what I, no. You are going to bring yourself. Is this thing easy? Tunde Ekpekorede is the worst person to even tell you what he's saying. But one of the things I've learned recently, I had an encounter some 3 days ago. I think I said at the beginning of the class, I am in Leeds today, so I am with my sister Janice and the husband here in Leeds. I had an encounter in Amsterdam that while I was coming over here, and it was quite painful. But one good thing in that thing is that I was almost like in tears, but I was very conscious that my tears were wrong. Very 100% present. I knew, so I just relaxed. I said, well, your default, because you want this outcome and you are not you are not going to get that outcome. You know you are not going to get that outcome. But that's what your default wants. So awareness would reduce the the pressure, the resistance that you want to bring in. So one of the things, as I was reading the article, I said, Tunde, if you are in this condition now, given all your work experiences, that you are now in a place now, or no matter how high you will get to in life or in whatever position, you will meet a situation. You might be a government minister, and a view, an opinion that you are so strong about, the president says that one is rubbish. I remember when I was working with London Precast in Rochester, Kent, and we had a problem with one of the real estate developer. So when the Health and Safety Authority asked for a report, I did a 5-page report. The MD said, "Hi, Tunde, this thing should not have been more than half a page." I said, wow. So what is plenty grammar? Look, it took me like as if I was cleaning my tears to rip up all the report I wrote and make sure that this thing is not more than half a page. Harold was saying something that sometimes cultural wise that way. I was trying to think about this incident. I said, is it really true? I said, I don't know, but I know in some instances, not all the time, I could use plenty of words to explain something that somebody thinks this thing is just 2 paragraphs. So, but when you begin to, one of the challenges, as when I read the article, I said, the first thing is remembering the places when you are in the heat of some decision making. If you are able to call some of the disparate knowledge here, note if you can just remind yourself, don't take yourself too seriously. Because sometimes we take life so seriously that we don't see reality. Our personal, we think na life. 99.999, I don't want to say 100%, it's really at most 100%. Our default interpretation is wrong. It's very wrong. 8 billion persons on the face of the earth, and those 8 billion persons have 8 billion interpretations. But it looks like my own should have been the real thing, but it's not. Just if you are able to bring yourself to that place, you will see that you will see things differently. That is the whole idea of being. Who am I being in this interpretation? I am being that this one is the right. No, don't take yourself too seriously. I talked about some last month when I went to Port Harcourt. When they told me by 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. that I'll be on Arise News by 9 a.m. for a topic I didn't prepare for anything. Nobody even told me that in that trip I would feature as a panelist. The first thing I just said to myself, don't take yourself too serious. It's a game. Is it okay as a game? I think sometimes you take life too seriously. So appearing on Arise, you have to read the subject, say there is nothing. I see sometimes you have seen they are interviewing the president of the country. He's not even answering the question. He's saying something else. Give a response that makes a contribution to the conversation. Sometimes you over focus on trying to provide an answer. There is no answer to anything. So, but if you just realize, I said to myself, I said, there is nothing. I'll just walk to the stage knowing that it's a game and we came here to have fun. We didn't come here to say how Nigeria should be ruled, how oil and gas should be regulated. That is how all of life should be. So it's a game. The game the chairman wants to play is different from the game I want to play. End of story. It's all invented. The chairman's opinion is invented. My own is invented. But he's the chairman. So his game comes first before my game. Now, if I look at it that way, I won't go to my subordinates. I mean, one way, even if I feel I'm very still strongly opinionated, I get to a meeting, I can't talk to the other managers that I support this. I will just tell them, have a conversation, tell them it's a game. If I've introduced some of the concepts we are learning in this class to them previously, and I'll let them know that this is, my game was this, but the chairman's game is this. But they are both games, and the chairman's game, we should do the chairman's or not mine because he's the one that is accountable to the board. But let's look at how to migrate to his own. I'm sure some of you sitting here, you have different games than my own and that of the chairman. And this, you will see people come up, they say, yes. They will say your own is wrong too. I believe when they say that, you will see your your personality begin to reduce. That even those people who are following you are telling you that they don't also believe in your game. So in all of this, I'll tell you, you are growing in leaps and bounds. Because to fit into places of leadership is more than what you think as an individual. It's going to be far more than what you believe. And if your winning strategy up till now has been getting what you want, when you get to a place where your winning strategy won't survive, the humiliation will shock you. It will shock you. You just find your subordinate says zero, those are above. I remember one of the cases in Tracy Gore's book where the IT guy just came with an outlandish proposal. We build a new IT system from the down up. The guy on the staff said, is this guy, we a bank? Is this guy out of his head? He did it in a financial organization. He wants to do it in maybe a real estate. We are not a bank. Now, but that is how he has always won and gotten his promotion. But now it's no longer like that. So it's good that you just find what is coaching at the end of the day. Somebody you want to have a conversation with. One of the things we are taught in coaching, you are not better than the person. The person wants to have a conversation with you because you have a skill by which you can have a conversation with him that helps him come out from a fixed point of view. All mental pain is a fixed point of view. You are staying in a fixed point of view. Reality is changing. And sometimes while you staying in a fixed point of view, the other options are looking dangerous. They are unknown. But like Joe Dispenza's quote that I came across just 2 weeks ago, the unknown has never let me down. The unknown. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Don't be afraid that you are going to give up a part of yourself to embrace something that will make you bigger. The unknown cannot let you down. So stabilize yourself. And the second one is say, okay, find out what is fixed and what is your interpretation. All right, I've spoken quite much longer than I anticipated. So let me open the floor for those who want to comment on the article and what they have learned in the course of the year on the subject of that we are looking at today, being. So today is our last class, and our Christmas party is going on and our New Year party, both combined. So what has stood out for you and how have you used it? The floor is open.
Hello, Coach. Can I come up?
Yeah, Dan, yeah, you can come.
Yeah. Okay. I've been in and out of class, but it was very, very interesting, and different scenarios and even like just the examples you just shared now, the one you talked about. So I've learned so much. One key thing is that look, you take responsibility for the cost of for the actions that you take. You can't say, "Oh, he got me angry. That's why I did already." No. you need to deal with that anger. You need to tell yourself that this is a problem I need to deal with. There's nothing that happens that you cannot overcome if you really want to, you know. So if you propose that it's closed, then it's closed. If you say it's impossible, then it becomes impossible. But if you tell yourself, look, there's a way out, then you begin to, a way out begins to, then the way that are out available begins to show forth themselves, you know. So not giving up on life, telling yourself that there's, you can make it. One strong thing I've learned. And, coming to this, the fact that we are gods, So, in other words, when things are not the way you want, you speak what you want. When God created, He saw there was a darkness upon the face of it. He said, let there be light, and there was light. So when things are contrary, you speak what you want, and what's happened, you begin to create your own world. So when you are in a situation where things are not going well, you begin to work out what you want it to be. But however, there's also the other side. You may not always get things to be in your own way, just like we're talking today. Maybe, you are seeing something this way you feel it should be done. What people are not seeing it that way. So what you need to do is learn to adapt, learn to play along. For instance, in the scripture, when God said, let there be light, and there was light, but darkness did not disappear. It didn't disappear. Darkness was still there. So what did God do? He separated the darkness from the light. And the darkness became useful. There was night and there was day. Animals move at night. During the day, they go to sleep. Human beings walk during the day. At night, they sleep. If there was no darkness, human beings will walk and walk and walk and die. There's something about darkness. So sometimes some of those things that you are not able to change, that you might have to live with, maybe actually building up for something that you need in the future. So these are, one among some of the things I've learned. So many things in the class, many from your book, Mental Resilience, and the story you told yourself, story you made up. It's really been a nice time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So the floor is open. And remember my theory or whatever. You learn more when you speak. Okay, Mr. Odunayo, the floor is yours.
Thanks, sir. Good morning, everyone. Okay, to provide my perspective this morning. I don't know. This morning, there's a different kind of utterance you are having this morning. It was almost like you shouldn't stop. There was this flow. You were having, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And so this morning, I took notes. So every time we have classes on Saturday, what happened is I have events that happen immediately after. So I always try to prepare. So I joined the class. I'm involved, but I'm also in the process of preparing for the second event. So that has greatly. I just realized this morning that has greatly impacted. While I'm involved and I listen, I don't take notes. But I have noticed that one of the ways I learn is in taking notes. So this morning I took notes, and I think is one of the things that I realized that I haven't so I never realized until this morning that I haven't gotten as much as I should get from these sessions because I haven't been intentional about taking notes, even if I've been very involved, listening and making mental notes. A statement you made this morning, just served like an anchor, because when you said, "Oh, these are our final class," there was a fear that entered into my heart, realizing that, oh, you haven't gotten the best out of these sessions because you haven't taken notes in the past. There was a fear that entered my heart, like, you mean this will just come to an end? Now that you have realized there's a gap, you are doing something about it this way. But then the statement with Joe Spencer, and that says that if I remember correctly, the unknown has never let me down, which is trusting in the future rather than your past experience just acted as an anchor to say, don't worry, the future will only be better. Yes, where you are, and I know during a class we had on mental resilience, when my community was privileged enough to have you, said the realization that where you are is the best place you can build from, is very powerful. And so I got that, and I know that that fear is just it's my past. I'm just being seduced by consciousness, but the unknown is a good place to embrace, because something good or something better than my past experience will always come out of it. These classes have been awesome. I was not to bore or not to take too much time, but I was having a conversation with one of my very, very close friends who's like a brother, and we are drawing parallels between, because I'm a man of faith, and whatever it is I learn, I try to be, and we learned that two classes ago, how your belief is your religion. Basically, what you believe becomes your religion, But drawing parallels between what we learn here and the heart of God. And I realized that there's so much parallels. And what brings people into the new move of what God does on the earth is the ability for you to be self-aware, how you can pull yourself from what you believe to be true or what you have held on to for years to be true. For example, the Jews were unable to get into the new move of Christ simply because of their experience of the old and the unknown. They embraced that which was a past experience without stepping into the new. And so this is what we have been learning, and this for one whole year we have been part of these classes, and it's been quite impactful. So just to appreciate you, and I sincerely hope that this final is referring to year 2025, and that 2026 will bring in something new, maybe a renewed version of what we have been learning. But for me, every single day I apply. I can't begin to say one or two, because it's much more. I had a conversation with my wife 2 days ago, and I picked from this too. No, yesterday actually, and the conversation could have gone a very different position, except just asking myself, what exactly do you want from this? And why do you feel the way you feel over a statement like this? And all of that has come as a result of our conversation on being self-aware, of knowing where you are coming from. My wife just put to bed last week, and while we were preparing for that, something happened. The child became breached, and that was strange, because all our visits, nothing. And then the next option would have been cesarean section, which is not medically wrong, but it wasn't something we planned for because of the time it takes, the recovery time for my wife. That's not something we planned for. And so while I was thinking about the situation, the same conversations we were having, which is, in addressing this, who are you addressing it as? Are you addressing it as a God? This child, this is the situation the doctor has told you. From what position are you addressing this from? And so learning from the classes of you are gods, it was addressed from the position of a God. And the next time we went to the hospital, the doctor said, this has changed, so let's just move for the delivery. So we had the vaginal delivery, but that position was driven from, who are you addressing this situation from? Are you addressing it as a God? So these are just few, and these things just happened in maybe 2 weeks, but over time, and through these classes, I really deeply appreciate being a part of it, because every single day, one or two opportunities show up for us to apply what I've learned here. And so thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I'm going to be in your DMs, sir. I'll be holding your Shokoto in the year 2026, because all that I have seen that I'll be a part of, there's a need to be very, very intentional and deliberate about walking this path with this kind of mentality. And one must take it past, because one must take it past this room into something more intentional. For myself, I'm not referring to any other person, but for myself, so that the kind of vision that already exists within my consciousness I can begin to touch it in reality. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I want to make some comment. Congratulations, Mr. Adunayo, on the safe delivery of your wife. That's brilliant news. So as we head into 2026, one of the things, if I put two things I learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza and Tracy Goss together, breaking the habit of being yourself. One of the things Joe Dispenza begins to talk about, which you might want to look at it as you are thinking about 2026. Joe Dispenza says, if you are planning for a new year based on your resources of yesterday and your interpretations of yesterday, said what it really means is that you are living in the past. He says in his guided meditations and workbook, I think the workbook is free online, he says you need to really go, so what is bringing the world you are creating in 2026? From where are you creating it? From past interpretations or future states of being? He says it takes sometimes for me to get out of myself, to come into the unknown, where what I know about yesterday is not dictating my tomorrow. He said it takes me 2 to 3 hours of silent meditation. Now it's going to take some disciplined work. When you are always in one of the chapters of Tracy Goss, she said, so ask this question every moment. From what context am I making this decision? From what assumptions? So many times we are building from yesterday. So what I think when I had too, there's a short video where when I had on YouTube, where when I had talks about how you are always opening the files of the past to decide what you will do tomorrow. He says, so what you are really doing, you are living in your past. You are not living in a possibility. You see, when these people use the word possibility, Rosamond Zander, the art of possibility, it is called the art of possibility because it takes you into an unknown. To get you out of the box you are, you need to be led out. But it's always, we are all afraid to be led out of our comfort zones. Almost every human being. It takes a lot of awareness. So when Joe Dispenza's popular phrase, the unknown has never let me down. This is what I want. This is what I want for 2026. But your personality, but you don't have, so you are creating, Joe Dispenza, you are creating from your past. But so you are going to go past the box. You are going to go past who you think you were, from where you want to create for a new person. Now, between his two books, Breaking the Habit of Who You Are and Becoming Supernatural, in Becoming Supernatural, he really begins to emphasize the unknown has never let me down. So if you look at many of the things that bring you trouble, I watch all these YouTube shorts. I was watching one last week, and the woman was asking an elderly woman about 80, look, how did you keep a marriage for this long? He said, and what is your advice to me? She said, don't try to win all arguments. Now, some of these arguments are when we are trying to do control outcomes. The unknown can be scary. If it doesn't go this way, it looks like this is the only way. But our power in all of this is the power of interpretation. What is at our disposal? It is what we are interpreting. I don't know how many of us have gotten Chrissy Goss. I've been able to get the PDF. It's an invention. You are living in an invention. And at any time, you can drop the invention if it doesn't align with what you want. Now, bringing yourself, sometimes even you can do some self-coaching by getting a relevant book and coaching yourself. What do I really, 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 really want? Sometimes what you want is not apparent in 2 hours, in 2 days, in 1 week. So knowing what you want is not just, I'll tell you, some of us who are old enough to understand it, you know it's more than that. There are a lot of things that if you ask me what do I want, I don't even know what I want. So sometimes the default is what my personality or what is telling me I want, and it's not what I want. So only time will tell, and I'll find out that, whoa, there is a better judgment if I was not afraid of the unknown. But to begin to bring yourself out of looking at tomorrow based on energy of today, based on reason, because being is not goal setting. So I want us to know that goal setting, from where I am now, I am setting a goal to buy 20 properties next year. Now, I am in goal setting, I am who I am. From who I am looking at buying 20 properties next year. In being, from where I am now, I am now living in the awareness that I have 20 properties. I don't know if that is confusing to anybody. It is, I am taking decisions based on I own 20 properties. It is not a place I am going to. It is a place I am coming from. I try to make that distinction a lot in January. The difference between being and goal setting. Goal setting, I am who I am now, but in being, I have changed. When he says, who are you being? The topic before us today, who are you going to be when you are asked to implement a strategy you are against? It is not what are you going to be doing. No. So goal setting is what I will be doing. Being the person I need to first stabilize myself, reconcile myself with what my superior has asked me to do, and be the thing, and see his strategy, see his own strategy from my own eyes, see it with my eyes like his own. I am seeing how it will work out. I am seeing that with reduced cost, improved quality, I can do this thing. Now, if I am not seeing it, it's goal setting. I am still the same person trying to achieve 20 properties. No, I am a person who owns 20 properties now. It's different. I will stop there to see what others have to say, or comments or questions that may arise from some of the things I've just talked about, because we begin to look at 2026. So the floor is open. We have general comments on what has stood out for us in this being class. We have an article. Feel free to comment on some of the things we've talked about, and let's build a class that we are all glad we participated in. Thank you. Michael, okay, Jane, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I want to thank Mr. Tunde and thank everyone that have been contributing to the class. I've learned a lot. When I joined the class, one of the reasons was to improve my interpersonal relationship, because I felt I want to grow in my leadership journey. And I felt for me to be able to grow in my leadership journey, especially career wise, I needed to work on my interpersonal relationship. That's one of the reasons. And since I've been attending this class, one of the things that have stood out for me, like the first person Justice said, is that we create our realities. And one of the anchors for me is, first is, what do I want? And secondly is, There is nothing like should or shouldn't. That has really helped me. When I begin to say, why did this person do it this way? Should have done it this way. That is one anchor that have really helped me. There's nothing like should or shouldn't. And like Harriet said, it is the filters that makes us think it should be like this or it shouldn't be like this. The context from which we are coming from. In this 2026, one of my goals is to examine my content. And I've told myself that I have to be teachable to be able to undo my content. Because if I don't allow myself to be teachable, then I cannot change the things that I've believed. I want to change my filters. In short, I don't want to have any filters, because reading Tracy Goss made me know that the highest form of being is not having any filters. That life happens the way it does. And there is nothing like should or shouldn't. If I can really come to that realization, I'm in like 0.5% now, because my natural AI overrides often. I'm hoping that in this 2026, if I can even get to 10%, I've achieved something in 2026, where I can get to where there are no filters at all, where I can take situation, conversation, that it is just what has happened without reading any meaning to it. Like one of our classes said, that everything is meaningless. Everything is empty. I was speaking to Mr. Tunde yesterday. We just came back from Paris, and I was telling him, I said, everybody's saying the Eiffel Tower, the Eiffel Tower. I said, it's just a gigantic iron build. There was nothing there. It is the meaning that so many people have given to it. Oh, you have to go to Paris and go to the Eiffel Tower. When we got there, I said, there were so many people there. I said, so what's really happening? Is it not just this structure that is here? This iron, people are just paying money to climb it. That's all. And just looking at it, I was telling Mr. Tunde yesterday, I said, I said, somebody will see me on Facebook and say, wow, she has gone to Paris. I say, it's all meaningless. There is nothing. When the Bible says vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. The things that we aspire to be, the things that we want to. And when you get there and you say, so this is it. That's all. I went to the Basilica. I've heard about it, Basilica. My God, I climbed stairs and stairs and stairs and stairs to get to the top. And I said, so this is it. So many people, just this building. And so what? So I've come to see the building. So it's meaningless. And I just said, God, in this 2026, help me to get to that point where there is nothing like should or shouldn't. Life just happens the way it is. It is the meaning that we give to it. There's so many meaning. Oh, if you go to this place, oh, you have gotten to the end of the world. It's fantastic. And you just get there and you find out that it's meaningless. So I just want to thank Mr. Tunde for hosting this class. And if I want to start counting all the things that I have gained from this class, the 2 hours will not be enough. But for me, the tip of the iceberg was it healed me of grief. I lost dear ones, siblings that the same mother, the same father, within a short period of time, that made me ask, we've been Christians in our house for a long time. So why did this happen? It's like it has happened again. There was a day that I stayed in the shower and I was just there. I was lost. My husband had to come and drag me out of it because one of my siblings was really, really close to me. And I was grieving. But this class healed me of grief. It made me know that life happens the way it was. There's nothing like should or shouldn't. There's nothing like it shouldn't have happened or it should have happened. If that is the only thing I have gained, it has restored my joy, it has restored my bubbliness, it has stopped me from questioning God. And I'm really grateful about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jay. Michael, the floor is yours.
Good morning,
Good
Coach.
morning.
Good morning, everybody. Merry Christmas again. My comment is short. For me, the being class has really helped me to bridge the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. It has also given me deeper understanding of the knowing what to do. You know, there are sometimes you know some things, but you don't really know them from the depths. You know them on the surface. But it has helped me to get deeper understanding of many things I knew before. And I've been able to connect the dots between them, to use Stephen Jobs, late Stephen Jobs language. So that's really the much I want to say. I just want to add a short comment to what Janice has just finished saying. Janice, you have made me become quite conscious of the term they should or shouldn't. I also read it in that book, and I took note of it. Yes, but you seem to have become very fond of it. I don't know whether you have considered that expression from this angle, but I want to give you this angle to that expression. It may also inspire you. The implied meaning of that phrase, should or shouldn't, is another potential, infinite potential. The implication, we talked about possibilities in this class. Coach has talked about it. The implication of there is nothing like should or shouldn't is that there is an infinite potential of possibilities. And I say this to you particularly and specifically because I perceive the height, or should I say depth, of your aspiration. And I think it's a good one. The more we learn that we are gods indeed, created with capacity for infinite good, of course, infinite evil also, like people like Adolf Hitler, and purpose to bring out the infinite good in us, the more the earth will be a better place for all of us. So that's where I'll stop for now. God bless us all.
Amen. Thank you very much, Michael. So one of the things I learned from when you say there is no should or there is nothing like should or shouldn't. See, what gods do, they just create. They just, you continually, you are creating. Now, but when we are held in a position, in the course of my work experience, so you hear people, if I not lose that job, if not, if somebody who is still not married because of a relationship, the way the relationship broke when we were in Uniben, and almost 20 years later, you are still talking about it now because it looks like it should not have happened. You know, I like the bluntness of Byron Katie. Byron Katie will say, it should have happened. The relationship should have broken. He said, you know why I know? Because it broke. He said, you should be questioning what has already taken place that it should not. No, it should have happened. Do you know why I know? Because it broke. Now, but we live in this should and shouldn't. My brother should not have died. My this should not have died. Now, what can I create given this circumstance? What do I want to create? Tracy, God makes life dying before you go to battle. Something, yes, when I plugged my ears with on my flight from Lagos to Amsterdam 3 days ago with Tracy Goss, she said, if you are going to undertake a project and you will not undertake the project if you knew that it will not succeed, then don't start it. He says, if you think that it must succeed. This new, he says, that's the only place you are fixated on. And you don't, I'm trying to get the language use her words very well. You don't recognize that there is the possibility that it will not happen the way you want. He said, then there's no need for you to undertake it. Now, that would be hard for some of us to take. Sometimes even from the religious perspective. But that is the Bible truth, I will tell you. Now, you create along the way. I posted a book on the group before the class started, Go for No. In that book, Feti and his wife, they were making an argument. They built an empire in the United States based on that book, Go for No. And what is the principle? When they got married, they started dating in the company where they were working as salespeople, and they got married. In the morning, they tell themselves to make phone calls and get 100 rejections. Can you imagine that kind of life? He said, if you cannot stand with no, then you cannot stand with life. He said no, the way he defines no, he said no is a fast way of eliminating all those whom you don't need to serve. He says no is not the way we know no. Can just imagine, as simple as no. All the interpretations that can go with it. No, he said, when he sent his own daughter, I think whether to Harvard or whatever, where she did MBA. So when the daughter came back, they were just talking. And he asked the daughter how the daughter can do some things for him. The daughter said, no. The phone called somebody. Hello, I'm Michael Feinstein, and I'm a public speaker. And I speak on this, and your company will really enjoy my services for the blah, 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 blah. Then the lady on the other side said, how much are your speaking fees? He said, $20,000. And the lady on the other side said, oh, no, that the company will not pay more than $10,000 to bring in a speaker for this event. They said, all right, thank you. The daughter said, that's all, Daddy? He said, no, I've eliminated them. They are not one of my customers. He said, so I've marked it today, one company eliminated. With Go for No. Right? Begin today, him and the wife, when they got new, let's do 2020 no today. Let's get 2020 no. Many of us are dying because of no. The interpretation, the way we have interpreted a no, is sending us to the grave. But we have a role in all of these interpretations. We have a role. Look, when you say, I am being this, I just want us to take us to the basics of what being is. It is not an outcome we are chasing. Being is not an outcome. Now, I have decided to be a very nice contributor to the life of Queen today. Now, it's not an outcome. I'm not saying if Queen talks to me like this, if the conversation with Queen ends like this. No, I'm saying this is what I have decided to be. Now, it's not because of outcomes. Dr. Joe Dispenza said in the book Becoming Supernatural, he said a company executive read his book and called him and started taking some sessions. And less than 3 weeks after the sessions, they fired him. He called Dr. Joe Dispenza. He said, I thought this was going to improve my life. They just fired me. Dr. Joe Dispenza said, then you don't know what this is all about. He said, it's an infinite series of creation. He said, you should be rejoicing. He said, we are talking about who you are being, not an outcome. He said 2 weeks later, the man got something better than where he was. Called Joe Dispenza to increase on his participation to, look, I want more of this. He says, if you are deceived by outcomes, your life will keep going like this. I saw one useless, sorry, I'm calling it useless post on, is it TikTok or Instagram? A lady who said, all I've gotten from the church is this, that the church has never contributed to my life. I said, you don't know what the church is about. You don't know what you are listening to is about. You are thinking that the church is to get you bread, is to bring it. No, if it's not, it's to alter your being, and if it's not altering your being, forget it. Forget it. If it's to being is a position you take in the midst of daunting disasters. If I've decided to take a position to be nice to Adolf Hitler, it's a position, it's not dependent on who Adolf Hitler is. Now, look, I have decided, giving everything as a God, what I want in this situation, I have decided to be this. Now, when I am that thing, that is who I am. It's not tied to the outcome of that person. It's not tied to the outcome of a conversation. I'm not trying to hold on to a conversation. So when Joe Dispenza says, the unknown has never let me down. These days, I enjoy conversation where I'm not anchored on an outcome. Before, the pain, you can almost measure it. There's an instrument Joe Dispenza plugs on your head to tell how you are experiencing a conversation. The way it's training you, the instrument will show. And oh God, they are not going. This thing is not even going the way I thought. I've paid somebody to help me, and this guy is just taking me to this direction that I don't even want. No, that is the growth. You are holding on, you are holding on. No, what do I want? Explore it. Don't be afraid of anything. Don't be afraid of going. Oh, let the conversation go the way it wants to go. Don't be afraid of the unknown. You are secured. You are sure. No, be there. I have decided yesterday I had to, going into 2026, I'm trying to really be sure I reinvent myself well. So I played the audio of Tracy Goss 8 hours in the last 3 days, and I finished it, start to finish. Now, be sure that, look, there is not an outcome that is controlling your life unconsciously. There is not a should or shouldn't be. No, look at all the things we have learned. This is it. So this is what I've decided to create. Tracy Goss says, you create something that is, look, you create a person that even the former you cannot even relate with. You have looked at the context of a situation. Now, intelligently, without thinking of your resources, what kind of person, what kind of being is doing this kind of thing that Elon Musk is doing? So this is the kind of person, this is the kind of person. Okay, can I be this kind of person? The answer is no. Okay, that's fine. Or would I be? No. Would I like to be? No. Okay, yes, I want to be. So be the king. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to drastically alter my regime. Tracy God says now you create a new game. The new game, I wake up 5 a.m. now because I'm a new person. Not because of any outcome. This is the kind of person. It is the kind of person that being is all about. Now, let me say this. Any challenge, anything you are not getting in your life, what is holding you is being, is who you are being. Sometimes you are stuck in a personality that will not get you. You are stuck in a context, let me put it that way. Remember when we're doing that filters? The app does not decide the husband or the wife, the spouse. It is the filters that decide it. But many times we are holding particular filters. We are just stuck. We've held them for 20 years. But you see, sometimes the sad part of it, we are not even aware that we are holding these filters. When self-awareness, when you're able to explore in uncovering your winning strategy. What is uncovering your winning strategy? Uncovering the context that has been governing your life. I'm now uncovering the context. So I'm now seeing, as I'm talking to Margaret, I'm seeing that there is something that she did 10 years ago that is still a part of the way I deal with her. Now, no. If this thing is not there, will I deal with it? No, it will not. So I want to get to that context, that filter out. So if this thing is not, no, I want to get that filter out. Because this filter is blocking what I want as a God. So I am creating a new outcome. Now, if you are always, look, Tracy Goss in the last chapter yesterday on practice, now you are going to be very much aware every moment of the day. From what context am I coming now in this conversation with Michael? From what context? Tracy God says the way you would respond to the same words from your boss are different from the way you respond to the same words from your subordinate. And there's something Khalil Gibran. Let me just quickly see if I can. Khalil Gibran is an author that you will learn a lot from. He says, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear, sorry, I'm trying to, okay. Let me read, this is a poem by, sorry, it's not Khalil Gibran that again, Rudyard Kipling. Some of us will be familiar. If you read a lot, you would have read it in several books. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about and don't deal in lies, or being hated and don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you have given life to broken, and stoop and build them up again. If you can make, let me not read the whole of the poem, but the most popular part that is quoted in most textbooks, if you can treat triumph and disaster as the same, he said, yours is the kingdom of heaven. Now, you get to a place where, when Tracy God said there is no should and shouldn't, no, triumph and disaster, does God get surprised when they say, hey, this thing is going on? No, he doesn't get surprised. When you read that poem by Rudyard Kipling, if you can treat them as the same, good news, bad news, they don't unfaze your personality. Yours, my son, is the kingdom. Now you have really come into the kingdom of God. But what is good and bad? They are good and bad interpretations. Somebody has just written a book that you should go for no, but there are some people who are already fainting because of a no. You should go for no. You should get 20 no's every morning. There is even another book, Fail Fast, Fail Forward. One was written by John Maxwell. Fail a lot quickly, generate plenty failures. Look, if you know the way we have been programmed and many of the things that are holding us back, that is counterintuitive? It doesn't make sense. But what makes sense is an interpretation. What they say to me that is getting me angry, as we begin to expand the pie, I like Rosamond Zander's sweet voice, expand the pie. Our narrow-mindedness has put us in what we call prison. But when you are becoming intentional on who you are being, life begins to take a whole new way. Life is not should or shouldn't. Okay, I'm here now. What do I want to create? I'm here now. This is what is going on. What do I want in what is going on here? I'm always able to hold myself together. Not my yesterday. No, what do I want now? Maybe different from what I wanted yesterday. It's 8:50 and we'll be stopping in about 2 minutes. Let me reserve the remaining minutes for those who want to make more comments. Thank you.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, class.
Dr. Vic.
Good morning. Thank you so much for organizing this session. You yourself don't know what you have done or what you have planted in the minds of people. It's a giant seed that will continue to grow and grow. And like someone has said, we are going to hold you. We are going to hold on to your cloths in this coming new year. What has stood out for me in this, I know I joined maybe not halfway, but I think Okabares, Mr. and Mrs. Okabares, they've been holding my hand since we met, and I know God truly will continue to bless them. What has stood out for me is the filters. Garbage in, garbage out. What you put is what you receive. And when I become intentional, what I see, I don't like it, I change my filters and I begin to expand my mind. I notice that things are changing. And you hit the nail on the head today again by saying, quickly get as many no's as possible. Because when you get no's, when you fail forward, when you fail in things, you are not starting from ground zero, you are starting with experience. And that's, I would say, as an immigrant, it has held us back so much because we want to stay on what we know, not knowing that there are so many possibilities. I would say for people like us that stay around London, we will never want to dream to go anywhere. But there are greater opportunities. I work in healthcare, and I know if you move slightly outside, there are greater opportunities. But because we feel, oh, I'm Black, I don't know how I'll be accepted in that area. If you tell yourself you are going to deliver the same service, when you move out, you know you are getting your lot is better. I just moved out of London. I'm walking slightly away from London. I had so many offers, but I rejected it. One, maybe because of family, but now children have grown. So I stepped it, and I'm saying, why did I delay all this till now? Is to fail forward, is to change the filters, and as gods, speak what you want, speak to it, speak to your situation and things. You open your eyes and you say, wow, what has just happened? I think every contributor in this class, it's like people are speaking your mind. Each time somebody opens their mouth, they remind you what you have learned, and it's an expository. You can't get enough of it. I thank you. And I pray this class will continue in 2026 because it's going to be a brand new year. We have learned so much in 2025, and we'll want to put into practice what we have learned. And I pray that you will help to hold our hands as we move and we venture into this new world to create possibilities. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Vic. Floor is open. The floor is open. So something that stood out for me when Dr. Vic was speaking. Sometimes we're holding on to a thread. Just getting out of London can bring a lot of mental uncertainties. The familiar always looks good. And many of us are stuck in the past. I meet people daily, weekly, who are stuck in 20 years ago, 10 years ago, if this one did not happen. God didn't say, when you read Genesis, why is everywhere? Why is there darkness? No, that your home is not to be. You are a God. Rearrange what, there is no should or shouldn't, just rearrange it to what you want. Every day, we are rearranging your context. The context from which I came yesterday, I don't want to come out of this. I need a new context. I need a new decisive context in 2026. Only you as God can decide that context. It is your context that, look, in the dating app, I am trying to get somebody. I don't have control over the 20 million women in it. I have control over my filters. That's what has made me God. Not over the 20 million ladies in the app. The context of which lady should be delivered to me. Now I have control over that. So let me exercise that control. Now, saying, oh, the app didn't do this, I'm not looking at my context. I wish the app would just say, do this one, just give me. No. The app is giving me the app. When Tracy God says life turns out the way it is, the number of the 20 million ladies are the 20 million ladies in the app. That's life. Now I should use my filters to decide what I want. To be always, okay, it gives me this. Let me delete this filter. Gives me more people. Let me bring in this, what in mathematics we call boundary condition. It changes the outcome it gives me. Now I have control over that. But I don't have control in the laws of nature, what is going on, whether there will be an earthquake in the moon tomorrow, whether the sun will not shine, whether it will snow. I don't, there is no issue. But there are the ones I have control over. It's called. The floor is open. 8:57.
As a coach,
Yeah.
uh, um, thank you so much for what you've done for us this year. If for nothing, at least the fact that you expose us to the books, and then it stretches our mind, and because knowledge is actually power, and knowledge gives you horizon to climb higher, and then you see the world from a broader perspective. It's just like moving from one plane of consciousness to another. So and that is the expansion of awareness is actually what makes we know who we are, and we now become greater beings, because consciousness is an awareness. So awareness moves from one stage to the other. So I ask the guys, when I'm doing interviews and I'm asking people questions, tell me about a time when you were disappointed, or tell me about a time when you helped somebody, or tell me about a time when you received help. And when people answer questions, you know their level of awareness, and that is exactly what these things are exposing us to. Awareness. That is your spiritual awareness of your being. Beings do expand. Beings move from one level to the other. So thank you very much. So we know that this thing is not awareness. It's a continuum. So it won't just end with this year. So next year we also want to expand. I don't know what program you have, or you're going to tell us what is going to happen to the club, because everybody is saying that they want to still increase in their awareness. But my takeaway for this year is, the fact that number one, you are a being and you have what it takes, all that God has created in you is created in us as image and likeness of God. And so you can also make declarations. And that creativity is something that, we as human beings, we can be creative. So we have been in a shell that has trapped us, and we now want to break free from that shell. Just like the chick, when it is 21 days, they now crack the shell so that the chick can come out. So it's time to crack the shell so that we can come out to become better human beings. So we implore you to at least let us know what is going to happen in the next year, so that we can actually expand our consciousness and become better human beings. But one thing I can go with from this year is that it is what it is, that life happens, and that we should not take ourselves too seriously. So if they say no to you, say no. Usually when we did network marketing, and say, oh, why? We know about go for no. When somebody says no, it's not saying no to you as a human being, it's saying no to your proposal. So we have to separate our human beings, ourselves, from the proposal. So if you know that detach yourself, that is detachment. The no is not to you. I say, okay, Bratunde, I have this product that I'm selling. It does this and that. This water filters and it's very good. It gives you very good energy. If you say no, you're not saying to me as a human being, you're saying to that proposal I'm saying. So you have to detach about some of most time where we say, this person don't like me, that's why I say no. So we feel that consciousness, that let down. No. So we should detach ourselves from the end point of what we are doing. We are different. We are infinite. Nothing can actually penetrate us. We cannot. The soul does not live it forever. It does not die. So if we know that one, we can move forward. Yeah. So thank you very much. Let me leave you to others to contribute, and then we hear from you what is going to be the plans for next year.
Okay, thank you very much, Harold. So we are winding down without any hand up. So as per what is going to happen for next year, so I think I will let that put that in the group in the next couple of days. But it's just every Saturday meeting. Today is the last of the every Saturday meetings. So what will happen next? I'll put it in the group. Queen, the floor is yours. You are muted.
Sorry, I said compliments of season to everyone. So please, before you go ahead, you just made a comment now that will I say is about to break my heart because this class, every Saturday class, was something I was always looking forward to. It's a class that actually helped me because every topic was a part of life experience. There was no topic that was away from life experience or a repetition of the next topic, even though they were all connected, but it was like gathering life experiences together and giving a meaning to life. So there's something Dr. Ugochukwu Emego always says, that you went to school and studied a certain course for a certain amount of years to become something. Now you want to make wealth and you're doing a 1-day seminar, 2-week seminar, stuff like that, and you want to become a billionaire. It's not possible. So now back to this being class. Yes, I know it has run for actually more than 1 year because I know I joined it last year, in that November or so. And now we're in 1 year. So if I would like to ask, if I'm permitted to, that if the class might not be for weekly, but at least twice a month, because it will help those of us who join a little bit late and those who have been in the class for a long time to get more acquainted to most topics and most items that have been dealt with. Everyone is pointing out what they learned from the class. There are actually a lot of things I learned from the class personally. It's like my everyday was taught in a class. In short, living the life every day now is like being class, every sentence being class, every sentence being class. So now I would please ask that you please make it. Don't go maybe once a month. No, that will kill us, kill our spirit. So maybe you can make twice a month, please. I would really appreciate that. That's what I can
Thank you very much. Thank you. So that will be part of what I'll be posting in the group in the coming days. I'll tell you, being is infinite. So when every week we're looking at who would you be, pick for today, when you are having to execute a strategy you disagree with, there are infinite states of being. But we have looked at what I would call the foundational elements of what being intentional is all about. So when I'm looking at what I call good or bad, should or shouldn't, and I'm saying no, I should come from what I want to be in the light of this situation. That is really what Tracy Goss is saying. I should come. So we've looked at the foundational things. There are a lot of books and articles that I'm sure we've not even gone through half of them. So we're going to be looking at those things at an individual level. But we'll look at the possibility of quarterly meetings, which we announce in the group, but all the details will be posted in the group in the coming days. Michael, you want to talk? Okay. All right. So in the absence of any other contribution, thank you so much. I want to thank everyone. 2025 has been a most amazing year for me, and you all made it possible. You all made it possible. We created possibilities for one another. There is no way I could have seen things the way I'm seeing now without this class. And I think I have the raw materials to create a most amazing 2026. And I'm sure you do too. So thank you so much. And thank you for being present here 7 a.m. every Saturday, 52 Saturdays. It's been a most wonderful time. And together, we are going to all do something great in 2026. Thank you, everyone.
No. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Coach, and thank you everybody for your contributions. I really enjoyed everybody. Without calling names, but some stood at was it Udunayo and Michael, Jane, Jane International, and my Marius.
Coach is in the UK with Janice.
The Janice. Janice is something else. You have Uge, we have Mario Queen. Mario Queen is also international too. We're looking forward to hearing more from you the next year. And every other person,